Hello, welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I'm DJ. We are back in the reloading room again today. And today what we're going to be bringing you is a Parker Productions. These are the Hydrocons. And these are the 250 grains Extreme Ballistics. Now, when I did my test, I found these at Outdoor Junction in Cookeville, Tennessee. Fairly decent priced, but a couple guys have made comments about these, and I was really only able to find one video done on these, and it was a 200-yard ballistic gel test. Didn't really fare too well for these guys, but I wanted to see how accuracy-wise how they did, because again, at 200 yards, it still hit the block at 200 yards. So it gave me kind of high hopes for these guys. So I do want to show you, this is the pack that came with it. It is the 50 grain 50 cal 250 grain Ballistic Extremes. So the reason I'm showing you this instead of showing you this guy, this is actually a 275 inside these packets, but we shot the 250s, and those guys, you can see, it is 4 and 3. That's only 12. Well, my genius self, when I bought these, I bought 2 packs of each of the 275s and the 250s, thinking there were 15 packs, which would give me plenty of rounds to do my entire test. Unfortunately, with a 12 pack, it left us a little bit shy. So normally we go all the way through our pellets. We do the 777s, 100 and 150 grains, which we will be doing. The Pyrodex, 100, 150. Then White Hots, 100, 150. Then we're going to be doing the 777 Fire Stars, 3 pellets, and then 4 pellets. Unfortunately, we did not have enough to knock out the 777 Magnums. So I apologize for those of you that are 777 Magnum enthusiasts. We are not going to be running those today because with the 24, I just didn't have enough. So I apologize for that. So how do these do? Some guys said they really enjoy the Parker Production products. Up until now, I had no idea how they're going to react in my particular firearm. So with this, guys, I am using the Optima V2, running the Conus 3x9 that came with it from Walmart. That's what I've done all these tests with. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be running the 777 100 grains. Again, this is a 250 grain Ballistic Extreme from Parker Productions. Alright, well, unfortunately, because of that last one, which if you look at these actual velocities here, you're looking at 1766, 1775, and then for some reason that dropped down to 1658, which threw that last one off to the left there. Again, these are just the 50 grain pellets from 777, and unfortunately that last one slapped over to the left, left us with a 4 5/8 of an inch groove. So not an awesome way to start out. The 777, as our charts have shown us, is actually one of the worst sets of pellets that we've had. So 150s of each one of these pellets has always done better. So let's go ahead and get into the 150 grains and see if that doesn't do a lot better. Alright, there we go. That's a lot more like I'm used to seeing here. That group came in at a 2 3/8 of an inch, which is kind of what we've been seeing here. Now, but you also look at these velocities, there's a reason why. You got 2086, 2086 again, and then followed up by 2095. And those are all right there in a nice tight 2 3/8. So just under a half an inch. 2 3/8 inch group. So not a bad way to go about it. Definitely a big difference between the 100 and 150 grains. So let's go ahead and let's move into the Pyrodex. Again, 50 grain pellets. Let's go for the 100 grains. See how it does. So yet again, we have a situation where I say something and the muzzleloader and the group can prove me completely wrong. I mentioned earlier that my gun really doesn't like the 100 grain charges. Well, Pyrodex is the one that has proved me wrong about that comment more than once, and eventually I'll learn. This group came in at 1 5/8 of an inch, so barely over 1.5 inches, 1 5/8 of an inch. And you look at the velocities here, you got 1905, 1872, and 1859. So the velocities are kind of all over the place, but we still have a nice tight group. And if you look at the group right there, it was 1, 2, and the third one hit almost in the same exact spot as that first one. What more can you ask from a projectile? That's freaking awesome. So 1 5/8 is definitely on the track to take today's win. But we got a little ways to go. So let's see how the 150 grains, usually the bigger ones do better, but let's see 150 grains Pyrodex. Oh man, we were so on a roll to get us another really tight group there. I mean, we had 1 touching 2, and then the last one jumped on us. That jump cost us a little bit, going up to a 3 5/8 inch group. So that's definitely not going to take the win today. But we're kind of seeing a 1-2 slap thing going on, which we've had previous before as well. So that may have caused this last one. I'm not 100% sure. You look at those velocities there. It's 22:42, 22:12, and 22:18. So those last two velocities are fairly similar, but the last one was the one that jumped. So take that for what it's worth, guys. Those first two were right on top of each other, and then that last one jumped on us. So as you can tell, the velocities are going quite a bit faster than the 100 grain, but so far as accuracy goes, 100 grain still got us. So let's keep on moving on to the White Hots, and let's see if White Hot's 100 grains can do anything. Alright, well that one kind of did exactly in reverse of what we just saw a minute ago. You know, you got one low and then those next two are right on top of each other. But then you look at the velocities on that, and it's 1770 even, 1767, and 1750. So they're really, to me, there isn't really a reason for the velocities to cause much of a change other than maybe just a dirty barrel. But that group came in at 3 inches. So it's definitely not going to take the win today. But a 3-inch group at 100 yards is kind of what we come to expect, or at least I've come to expect out of these pellets with the muzzleloader, or at least this quality of muzzleloader. So not too shabby, But let's go ahead and let's move up to the White Hot's 150 grains and see if that doesn't tighten that up. Alright, so actually that really didn't tighten it up very much. It actually got a little bit wider. That actually came in at a 3 1/4 of an inch group, so just a little bit bigger than what we saw with the 100 grains. And then if you look in here, you can see that we have a velocity of 2101, 2084, and 2118. So standard deviation of about 17. So a little bit higher. No, we've seen higher before, and tighter groups. But that's what we got. So White Hots, you know, they've landed like that before, where both the 100 grain and the 150s kind of did a similar thing. So basically it boils down to what kind of a punch do you want, or how far out are you going. But anyway, guys, that's the White Hots. Let's go ahead and let's move into the 777 Fire Stars 3 pellets. Now, alright, so there's another showing of the 1 low and then a 2 high up there. That particular group came in at 3 3/4 of an inch, so definitely not going to take today. But like I said, that was the first one low, and then those top 2 up there. But the velocities are pretty close to each other. So you got 1843, 1856, and 1861 with a standard deviation of 9.2. So that's just the projectile. It could have been a little bit dirtier barrel like those last 2 shots. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what we ended up with, was a 3 3/4 inch group. So last for today, again, guys, we're not running into the 777 Magnums because I just ran out of projectiles because they decided to go with a 12-pack instead of a 15-pack like most of the industry does, or more. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's run to the Fire Stars 4 pellets and see how that ends up. All right, that's a pretty respectable group there. That comes in at 2 1/4 of an inch. So all in all, not bad for what we've seen out of these muzzleloaders so far. At least my muzzleloader so far is 2 1/4 inch. The velocities looking at there, 2076, 2056, and 2099. That last one kind of spreading our deviation out to 21.5, but we ended up getting a 2 1/4 inch group. All right, guys. So with that, let's go ahead and move over to the chart. And let's see how this did overall in comparison to all the other projectiles that we've ran. So far, we ran 17. This one has come in at 14th place. So out of 17 projectiles, we are looking at number 14. This one, if you look all the way over here to the right-hand side, is an average group of 3.107. So again, this does not have the 777 Magnums on there, but 777 Magnums as a whole, out of 9 different projectiles, or excuse me, after 9 different propellants, is in 8th place. So I really don't have a whole lot of faith in the 777 Magnums really helping that group a whole lot. So going back over here just to recap, with the 777-100s, we're looking at 4 5/8, followed with a 150 grain at 2 3/8. Then we go into our winner for the day, which is Pyrodex 100 grains at 1 5/8, then 150 grains of Pyrodex at 3 5/8. White Hot's 100 grain 3 inches, with again a really close group, with the White Hot 150 grains at 3 1/4, and then the 777 Firestar 3 pellets 3 1/4, and the second best group of the day was the 777 Firestar 4 pellets with 2 1/2 inch group. So if we go down here to the bottom of our chart here, you will see again that the 250 grain Ballistic Extremes from Parker Productions is the 14th out of 17. So then we look over here at the most accurate powder. In first place, we have a 2.529 with the 3 pellets of Firestars. Then it just moves its way down. The 777's 150, 777 Firestar 4 pellets, White Hot's 150, White Hot's 100, Pyrodex 150, Pyrodex 100, and 777 Magnums, and then finally the 777 100 grains is still in dead last. But guys, I need you to remember this when you're looking at this most accurate pellets. And below this, I'll show you that the spread between the Hornady's EODXs and the 240 grain XPTs, which ironically are also Hornady's, 1.86 inch spread between those. And then when you get in the powder spread is 0.531 inches on average. So these are extremely tight groups as far as the best to the worst as far as this goes. So the competition saying that this is landing at 14th is definitely how my gun reacts, guys. No matter what I do up here, it's just showing you what my gun does, how my gun reacts to a certain projectile powder combo. And I almost forgot, guys. I do apologize. Each one of these was shot with Federal 209A primers with its respective powders, and of course we were using 250 grain Ballistic Extremes. So 14th, not really that awesome, guys. We really haven't had a whole lot of fireworks since we ran those EODXs. In the comments, I've seen you guys ask me to do the extended ranges with that. One of the comments that I really did like was to basically take maybe the top 3 or top 5 combos. So basically going through this entire list that we have on our computer for the pellets, take the 5 best groups, regardless of what projectile or powder they are, take the 5 best groups that I have, move those out to 200 and see how they work. See what kind of response I get at 200 yards. That's probably going to be a video once I get this rain to let up. That's probably the one I'm going to be running next, in addition to trying to set up my ballistics gel test that you guys have been asking for. I want to know, you want to know, so I think those are going to really go over well. We just got to get the materials in and go from there. So guys, if you've been with me so far, I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's great having you here. If you can and haven't done already, please hit that subscribe button to become part of this channel. Help us out. Hit that like button. At the very least, hit that like button. Letting the algorithm know that you guys appreciate this kind of videos. And then do me a favor, as always, leave comments down below. Let me know what you want to see, and we will get to it, guys. Now that turkey season's over, I got a lot more free time to hit the range up. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of these testing videos back with the muzzleloader again. We got a long time before deer season starts, but that's no reason to relax, right, guys? We want to be 100% ready when the day comes for muzzleloader next year, or at the end of this year, rather. So again, guys, I'm Suburban Hunt 365. I'm DJ. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the next one.